Nearly 2 weeks since a Kootenai County legislative town hall erupted into chaos, the Idaho Republican Party weighs in.
We've got mild temperatures hanging on as clouds build over the weekend. Rain next week.
And quarterback Geno Smith is out. Where he's heading and what the Seahawks got in return. Good evening. Thank you for being here with us tonight for your KREM 2 Night Report. I'm Cody Proctor. Nearly 2 weeks since a Kootenai County legislative town hall went off the rails with a woman being forcibly removed from the event, the state Republican Party is weighing in today. Video of that town hall quickly swept through social media. In it, security guards can be seen physically removing a woman identified as Teresa Borenpol after she went back and forth with Kootenai County Sheriff Bob Norris about her needing to leave.
You out now! You out now!
Within hours of her forced removal from the event, donations started pouring in for Borenpol's legal fight. A friend says she was denied her freedom of assembly, freedom of speech, and her right to be free from unlawful detention. Initially, Coeur d'Alene police cited Borenpol for reportedly biting a security officer, but that was dropped. In the fallout of the event, the city of Coeur d'Alene revoked the license for the security company Lear Asset Management, who was working that event. The city says one of the reasons for that move was because the company failed to wear clearly marked uniforms identifying them as security agents. We also learned this isn't the first time uniforms were an issue for them. KREM 2 obtained emails with a public records request showing back in April, Coeur d'Alene Police Chief Lee White requested the suspension or revocation of Lear Asset Management's license because of concerns about their uniforms. Today, the Idaho Republican Party shared a statement saying they support the Kootenai County Republican Central Committee. In that statement, they partially say, quote, the IDGOP reaffirms its commitment to free speech as a foundational value, but it does not extend to violence or the suppression of others' voices. The Idaho Republican Party condemns the heckler's veto as an assault on reason, not a defense of rights, end quote. In their full statement, the Idaho GOP also referenced new body camera footage of the event was released. KREM 2's reached out to the Coeur d'Alene Police Department about that video. We're waiting to hear back from them. In the meantime, we're continuing to track new details of the Moscow murder case tonight. More than 2 years after 4 University of Idaho students were killed in their off-campus home, we're seeing text messages sent by the surviving roommates the night of the murders. Those messages were sent moments after the roommates made that gruesome discovery. KREM 2's Christian Garza brings us more on those messages and what a legal expert says about their significance.
Well, the big question after these documents were unsealed was why now? Why, after close to 2 years, are we finally seeing those early morning interactions between the surviving roommates and police? The simple answer to that, now we are at a different stage of proceedings in this case. It was here in the early morning hours of November 13th in 2022, the surviving roommates made the gruesome discovery. Now we're getting a glimpse of what they went through. Court documents show text messages between the surviving roommates as they tried to figure out what was happening. The messages start at around 4:22 a.m. with the surviving roommates hearing strange noises and seeing a strange man in the house. They read, "No one is answering. I'm really confused. Xana was wearing all black. I'm freaking out right now. No, it's like a ski mask almost. I'm not kidding, I'm freaking out. Come to my room, run down here." Around noon that same day, after not hearing from any of the other roommates or Ethan, a group of them went into Xana's room and found her unresponsive. That's when they called 911. Court documents show multiple people passed the phone around as they talked to the dispatcher, saying one of the roommates in the house was drunk last night and wasn't waking up, while also telling the dispatcher that they saw a man in the house. When asked if Xana was breathing, the caller's response was no.
Without prejudging the context in which that will be offered, it's impossible to know whether it will be relevant and admitted at trial.
That's former Idaho Attorney General David Leroy. He's not involved in the case, but agreed to provide some analysis on why these texts are being released now, and if they'll be allowed as evidence.
So the answer to the question as to why things are coming out now is both that discovery is ongoing and that motions are being made.
Leroy says as we get closer to the trial, both sides are required to share details about what they plan to present, and the judge needs time to decide what will ultimately be allowed. The defense argues the texts are hearsay and also claims the evidence was not made available to them and gets in the way of Kohberger's right to a fair trial. It's worth noting, before the case was moved to Ada County Judge John Judge ruled the recordings are not hearsay and can be used. Kohberger's trial is currently set to start in August. If you wanted to read the documents for yourself, we have the full transcript of these conversations and the latest updates on this case up on our website, KREM.com. Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Christian, thank you so much. In the meantime, a Washington state proposal to keep the most violent offenders in jail will not pass this year.
Well, the big
bill
question
named for Spokane teen killed in January didn't even get a hearing. The bill was named for Gavin Looper, the Spokane 13-year-old who was shot while playing video games this January. The bill, sponsored by Spokane Republican Representative Jenny Graham, would have done away with early release for anyone with a violent firearms conviction or weapons enhancement. Right now, incarcerated offenders can reduce their sentences through good behavior credits. Representative Suzanne Schmidt says that system doesn't account for the safety or needs of victims.
They deserve to have the peace of mind to feel safe that that person has been locked away and not roaming the streets. If you used a firearm to commit a crime, then you're going to pay the time.
The bill didn't receive a hearing before the deadline, so Schmidt says it's not going anywhere this session. Tonight, we're learning the cause of death for actor Gene Hackman and his wife. New Mexico authorities released new details today. It appears Hackman's wife, Betty Arakawa, died first around February 11th from hantavirus, which is usually spread from rodents. Hackman, who reportedly had advanced Alzheimer's disease, was reportedly alone in the home for about a week, then died due to heart disease with Alzheimer's as a significant contributing factor. His pacemaker last recorded activity around February 18th. Hackman and Arakawa were married for more than 30 years. They were found dead in their Santa Fe home by maintenance workers, along with one of their dogs last week. Let's take a break right now from the headlines and shift gears to take a first look at your weekend forecast with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legault.
After an absolutely gorgeous end to the work week, we have a nice weekend in store despite a little bit of cloud cover returning to the region. That little bit of cloud cover is going to keep us a little bit warmer overnight. 33 here in Spokane and right around freezing across much of the inland northwest. The difference between being close to freezing and down in the 20s will be huge when it comes to us getting up to our high temperatures. We still have that ridge of high pressure building in, and as it does so, it's going to do a decent job of keeping all of that cloud cover and storm activity off the coast as our low works its way in. Tomorrow, it's a mix of clouds and sun. That cloud and sun mix takes us through the day. Sunday, a little bit cloudier across much of the region, and then our first chance of rain moves into the forecast on Monday. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday all bring the chance of rain and cooler temperatures, so enjoy the next couple of days. 54 degrees on Saturday, up near 60 on Sunday. 57 if we're honest, but it's dry, just a little bit cloudier.
Jeremy, thank you so much. In the meantime, we want to turn to some breaking news right now in the football world. Seattle Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith being traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. That's according to NFL insider Adam Schefter. The Seahawks are trading Geno for a third-round pick. Smith spent 3 years in Seattle rejuvenating his career, even inking a 3-year, $75 million deal in the process. Now, it is worth noting, Geno's old head coach Pete Carroll's now the head coach of the Raiders. All right, does the sunshine have you ready to hit the links? Catch the golf courses opening up this weekend. It's quite a few. But first, President Donald Trump pushes for a ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia. The latest coming up in just 90 seconds.